Look, Mr. Haas, I really think we need to go after the title this season with all we've got. Next season. Mate, next season is going to be crap no matter how good the car is. Well, unless you can convince K-Mag he's suddenly American, there's nothing I can do about it. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Kicking Haas. Today we have the Italian Grand Prix at Monza and we'll be coming to this one with K-Mag sitting in a good position. We're looking good for third in the Constructors this year if Sargeant can just keep this little recent uplift of form he's had. But K-Mag is currently second in the driver's standings within a race win of Verstappen, but the danger, both Ferraris, they are absolutely rapid and they're very concerning. And especially in Monza, you'd expect them to be right up for it, wouldn't you? So, yeah, it's a four-horse race for the championship. I have no doubts about that, and let's hope our horse can go and win it. Now, we're going to give him every chance. The almost unanimous, it was unanimous, I think, in the comments, was that we need to give him the best chance we have to win a championship, because next season with Crawford and Sargeant it's likely to be a struggle anyway. So we just go full attack at this season, and that's what we've done. We are developing a new wing, front and rear, as well as an underfloor. So they will be with us. They'll be with us when they're with us, and as soon as we can, we'll get them on the car, and that will hopefully be the difference. It'll just push us onto that next level to be able to compete. Not just on strategy, but genuine pace, qualifying as well with the Red Bull and the Ferrari. And yeah, the reason that we're doing this now is because we got the research that wind tunnel time and that was reset. So that's all raring to go, and will be, as I say, with us as soon as we can. Now, if we have a look here, we do have a development point for Logan Sargeant. We will go and stick that onto. We want to get everything up to 80, of course, and then we're going to look at making him a more rounded driver. So we'll stick it on braking. That seems to be his weakness at the moment. And we've got a development point for Crawford as well, which we will go and put on to. Let's go with reactions. We'll try and get everything up to 70 if we can before he jumps in the race seat next season. He's already a little bit of a better rounded driver than what Sargeant is. So that's that stuff. We did have some development points here as well. One for our head of aero, who is off at the end of the season. In all likelihood, it's not confirmed yet, but I don't know that we're going to be able to. We'll be able to get somebody better, is what I think is what I'm trying to say there. And we've got a development point here for our race engineer. I think we just keep going with pit crew management. We just want the fastest pit stops humanly possible. And yeah, as long as we're getting those, then we're happy. Now, it's only been 4 days since the last race, so we haven't had a chance to do anything else. Oh, we've got another wet race. Another wet race. What is it? What is going on with the weather this season? All right, we've got red sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow sector 3. As you've already seen, as you will know, Monza is just fast. There's 2 traction zones in the first and second chicanes. Other than that, it is you just go as fast as you can, basically. It's a 29 second pit loss. Cut 10 seconds off it for a safety car. Expected strategies, it's a one-stop. It's not really difficult on tyres. Is it the compound performance? It's only 0.3 of a second a lap difference between the soft and the hard. And with the drop-off there as well, you suspect the medium tyre, or even the hard tyre, to be honest, is going to be quite a good tyre this race. Last year it was 5th and 6th, which would be a good race for the team. Ideally, though, we need Magnussen ahead of Verstappen and the Red Bulls, Verstappen and the Ferraris, I should say. Historically, Denny Rick, of course, go on, son. But Perez and Leclerc in our world have won the Italian Grand Prix before. So I'm going to go do some. Actually, no, before we do that, we've got to have a look at our performance targets here. Reach Q3. Car in the top 8. I'd like to think we can manage to do that. Finish in the top 8. We better do that, or else it's going to be bad news for K-Mag. And we've got a finishing streak. We need 1 car in the points for 2 more races, and 1 car in the top 10 for 3 more races to get that money as well. So now that's all done. Now we can head off to Monza. And there we go. Confirmation for the 3rd race in 4, I think it is now. Heavy rain on Sunday. All right, I'll do free practice. I'll see you for qualifying. Alright, free practice has been done. Let's go and have a look and see how we did. Now, FP1, we had Crawford in the car, and he got fairly close to Sargeant, to be honest, but we obviously have older parts in the car. FP2, Sargeant in 12th. Now, Sargeant's his car, his parts are in better condition than K-Mag's, so that is probably why he is ahead of him on the harder compound of tyre. And then FP3, Sargeant down there again in 12th, and K-Mag in 15th. Again, not too concerned. K-Mag's ERS for one is like major damage, so you know, there's reasons why he is where he is. You can see the setups aren't too bad at all, so that's good. But what we will do here is hopefully get through Q1 without any problems, and we'll come back to confirm that. Alright, so there was no problems whatsoever. K-Mag in 6th, Sargeant in 9th, and Perez has been knocked out. Now, I've got to admit, I was a little bit cheeky with Sargeant because he got held up by Verstappen, so I sent him out at the front of the field to do his lap, so he was cooling down when they were all doing their hot lap, and he blocked Perez. So, wrong Red Bull, but we'll take that as a moral victory for us. Anyway, on to Q2. Alright, so we are coming around to start the second run. First run, obviously, both on used tyres. 5th for K-Mag, 8th for Sargeant. We're on board with Sargeant, and we are the last two cars on track, so we should have the best of the conditions. Let's go and check for sector times here. And green for Sargeant. There's not much green in front, including K-Mag, who's only not done a personal best. Ricardo behind has done 2 green sectors as cars start to come across and finish their laps. Checkered flag is out. Sargeant's looking as though he's going to be okay here. He's done another green sector. Yeah, Sargeant's going to be fine. I don't think he can be knocked out at this point. But can he go faster? Let's find out. K-Mag as well, in with a chance of going faster. Sargeant goes 7th, and K-Mag stays 5th. And with the potential penalty to Gasly as well, would move Sargeant up another spot. So we could be looking at a 3rd row lockout, which would be very nice indeed, wouldn't it? But both McLarens are out there, the Alfa Romeo and an Alfa Tauri of Tsunoda as well. So let's go to Q3, see where we're going to start this one. Alright, well, the first run was absolute chaos as someone yellow flag in Sector 2. I don't know why, but sort of half the field came out midway through everybody else's laps. Gasly's run wide, so that's his lap ruined. So yeah, the grid is not what it's going to be, I would imagine. 6th for K-Mag right now, 9th for Sargeant. Let's go and have a look at sort of sector times we've got here. Sargeant's done a green, K-Mag has done a green. There's definitely room for improvement from everybody, I would say. Verstappen doesn't look like he's gone faster, though. Let's see what we can do. Sargeant is in front of us on the road. We can just see him turning in there to the Ascari chicane. And nobody in front of us. K-Mag has not done a best first sector, middle sector, I should say. Everybody else has crossed the line. Here comes Sargeant. He goes... Oh, he stays 9th. K-Mag stays 6th. That surprises me. So there we go, 6th for K-Mag, behind Esteban Ocon as well. That is very disappointing with Leclerc and Verstappen on the front row and Sainz ahead of him as well. So tough qualifying for K-Mag there. Sargeant 9th is okay, I suppose, but a wet race to come. Let's see how wet and how bad it's going to be. Okay, so what are we talking here? Rain, heavy rain coming back end of the race. Okay, so, and then possibly back to dry conditions. So we need to try and get to lap 30 if we can. We saw the hard tyre was not the worst tyre yet, so we want to be on the hard tyre, I think. It's not the worst tyre going around. We could probably even push for most of the stint. And get to still where it's sort of, we're looking at more serious rain, at which point I'm assuming we go into a wet tyre, Potentially, we might need to go back onto an inter or even a dry towards the end, but we'll have to sort of see that, play it how it comes, I think. But that's got to be our strategy, doesn't it? Hard tyre onto the wet. It'll save us a pit stop. We can push on the hard tyre as well. And, yeah, hopefully everybody else tries to do it on a medium or a soft and has to make that extra stop, because that would play nicely into our hands, I would think. Because actually we're going to want to come in a little bit before this, aren't we? We're going to want to come in closer to lap 30, so we can actually quite easily get there pushing the hard tyre. So this is good. This is good. Hopefully the AI aren't as smart as me, and let's see what we can do here. Alright, I'm excited for this one. It's the hope that kills you, though, isn't it? You can see there's K-Mag, and the Haas will be of Sargeant. That might be him there, I think. Let's jump on board. Let's see what we can do. We're on board with Sargeant. K-Mag is... Where is K-Mag? He's behind the Ferrari here. Ocon's got a good side. I see soft tyres, and I think I see medium tyres as well. So this... Yeah, we're the only cars on hards. Now, that is either going to be, as I say, a genius masterstroke, or more likely, with me in a wet race, an absolute disaster. But I have done okay in wet races this year. So let's hope for the best here. If we can hold position, we are ERSing our way up as well. We're sort of going full deploy early on here. Yeah, we just need to, if we can stay with them, they're surely going to have to, well, the soft tyre runners definitely going to have to make a stop. There's no way they're getting to the rain on those. And if we can stay with the medium runners, they are either going to have to stop, or they're going to be absolutely dead by the time they get to the rain. So, yeah, I mean, we just need to stay on the road right now, don't we? This race should come to us. Let's see where Sargeant's looking at here. He's looking at the back of Vettel, sort of state position. Yeah, the race should come to us if we can just keep her on the road, be sensible, and not make any silly mistakes, Logan. And K-Mag as well, for that matter. You've made a couple this season yourself. ERS battery is empty. DRS will be opened. And, yeah, well, we'll see how this race develops as we wait for the rain. Multiple cars have crashed. Oh, it's a K-Mag. So I just saw a white car. I think it's K-Mag. No, K-Mag's okay. Do we have a safety car? Multiple cars. Which cars have crashed here? It's the front two, I think. It is the front two. It's Leclerc and it's going to be Bottas. If we can take Verstappen as well, that would be brilliant. It is but it is Leclerc and Bottas. They've done their best Logan Sargeant impression. So, do we have a safety car? I don't think we do. No. But suddenly we have K-Mag 4th, Sargeant 7th. And two of the major players in this race are out. What we don't want to do, we can still see Verstappen. We don't want to let him get away. Ocon is sort of the spanner in the works here, isn't he? He, in effect, doesn't matter because he's not in the championship battle. So if he can... Oh, Jesus. The double speed, it really... Yeah, it's a real... Yeah, so in a way, you know, as long as Ocon's taking points of everybody, if he's in front of us as well, it doesn't really matter. Though ideally, we'll be ahead of him, and he'll be ahead of Verstappen and Sainz, who are the only two left in the race of the Championship 4. But that's not true. Where's Leclerc? No, he's 10th, so he's still in the race. He's going to have damage to his car, though, surely. As look at this, Ocon making a move on Verstappen. Now, Ocon's on a soft tyre, I think, isn't he? Yeah, so he's racy for now. I suspect he might drop out of contention a little bit. As a fastest lap there for, well, both our boys, Magnussen and Sargeant. So we're absolutely flying on the hard tyres. We've got a stop less, in theory, to make. This could come massively our way if, to say, everybody stays on the track. Who's trying to pass K-Mag? Go away, Russell. Carlos Sainz is locked up. He sends it up the escape road. That's going to be more positions for us now. The Ferraris at Monza, disastrous. But it is good news for the boys in Haas. That's 3rd and 6th now. Now, what I am a little bit afraid of here is getting cut adrift. Because we've got Vettel in front of us, albeit on a soft tyre, and Magnussen again has Ocon in front of him. And we don't want Verstappen getting away. But, yeah, I mean, the soft tyres are degrading. They're going to have to come in relatively soon. That should leave us, 2nd and 3rd in the race. If Ocon wants to go and take Verstappen out, that would be magnificent, though. Go on, Esteban. Alright, now we are expecting the soft tyre runners in soon. What we've been doing is just trying to harvest, just recharge the batteries. And that way, when Ocon comes in, or in front of Sargeant, when Vettel and Russell come in, we've got some battery power that we can go and, you know, have a bit of an attack. Then, you know, close up the gap to Verstappen and hopefully, you know, maybe even look to go past him. Although, in truth, because of the way the DRS zones work, we're probably unable to do a clean overtake, because what will happen is he'll just stay with us with DRS. What I'm more likely thinking could work is that if we save the DRS and the ERS, and then hope that he has to come in before the rain, and then if we do a couple of deploy laps whilst pushing, you know, really push on, that we might be able to do a bit of an overcut. And then he's going to have to make an extra pit stop anyway, and then hopefully open up ourselves quite the nice gap. But we'll see if that plan actually works or not. But we're still waiting on these soft tyre runners to come in. Shouldn't be too far away now. The tyres are certainly wearing away quite quickly. Alright, Vettel and Russell have come in the pits that lap. So that gets him out of the way of Sargeant. Let's try and just deploy him up to the back now. Make sure that he's right where he needs to be. No, he's not necessarily pushing, he's just deploying. So let's hope that he doesn't make a bit of a Sargeant mistake here. And also we've got K-Mag, who's no longer charging and able to deploy a little bit down the inside. Gets the move done on Esteban Ocon, up into second place for Kevin Magnussen. As Ocon may well pull off into the pits this lap. And yeah, indeed, there he goes. So K-Mag sets the fastest lap of the race. And Logan Sargeant will hopefully be able to close up on the back of those, what is now a front two, as Kevin Magnussen. I'm wondering, actually, because we're expecting rain about lap 30, I'm wondering if these guys are going to try and actually get to... they're going to try and get to the rain on the medium. So maybe now's our time. And we will deploy. We'll try and get the move done here on Mick... who are you? You're not Mick Schumacher, you're Max Verstappen. And there we go, down the inside. K-Mag, he should have some curb, Max. That should be that done. K-Mag goes to the lead. And like I say, if they are trying to get the medium tyre there, I mean, we are pushing as hard as we can on the... how far back is Sargeant? He's a little ways back, isn't he? We're pushing as hard as we can. It's like K-Mag's done the fastest. Has he got cars coming out? No, we're on board with Sargeant. So yeah, we'll kind of see what we can do here. What sort of lap times is Sargeant doing? 124. So he's faster than Verstappen, as we've lost our fastest lap there to George Russell on a medium tyre. So that's annoying given the state of the race. Let's see if K-Mag can nick it back off him. Doesn't look like he can. The tyres are probably a little bit too old to be trying to do that. But anyway, K-Mag leads. We're expecting rain in about 8 or so laps time. Alright, we are expecting rain more or less any minute now. We've entered the pit window, as you can see there. We'll do the same thing with Sargeant when he comes around. Sargeant has been caught and passed by Sainz, which is absolutely fine. We did back off the tyre usage a little bit, but we're back on it now. We're going to try and push to the rain, which is, as I say, expected to be here any second at this point. And any gap we can get over Verstappen with Magnussen, and as close as we can get in front, we have actually just got in front of Carlos Sainz, it looks like, then that is all excellent news. Now, where is this rain going to start? And of course, perhaps more importantly, how heavy is it going to be? Let's just have a quick check of the weather forecast here. What are we expecting? A couple of laps of what could be inters, isn't it? Before we get to sort of proper wet stuff. So I think if we stop, we're definitely going to want to stop and put a wet tyre on. It just may not go wet. Oh, here we go. Okay. My initial thought is that let's go another lap with Magnussen, but if there's rain coming on the track, we know it's going to keep raining. It's got to that pretty quick, hasn't it? All right. If it's not too... It might be too late to call him in this lap anyway, and that'll kind of fix the problem for us. Estimated to come out in 9th. And then Sargeant will definitely come in this lap because we know that he struggles anyway in wet conditions, so we don't want him out there on a slick tyre. And let's see, is K-Mag going to be able to come in this lap? Yes, he is. Okay, so both cars will be in. Hopefully.
More rain is coming.
Hopefully the gap is big enough. Verstappen and Sainz have not come in. And it's going to go damp very shortly. Are we going to get... without any delay? Oh, look at that. You'd almost say it was planned, wouldn't you? 2.7 seconds, 2.7 seconds essentially. We're out on wet tyres on a damp track. Now, we don't have to worry about tyre wear. That is absolutely fine. What we do have to worry about is sticking it into a fence somewhere. Or, perhaps more to the point, getting caught behind someone on a slick tyre on a wet track. Everybody behind us has come in. Now, everybody has got the hint. Let's see. This is huge now. This is huge for the season. This is huge for K-Mag's championship as well. And if we can get Sargeant in front, this is what he can't afford. He can't afford to get stuck behind an Aston Martin in any conditions, but especially in the wet. Pull out. You've got to get the move done here, Logan. You've got to get the move done. Please get the move done. Logan Sargeant, you're absolutely killing me sometimes, man. Come on. Everybody now is in the pits. Let's see where K-Mag comes out. Is he going to go into the lead of the race? Verstappen is... Oh, Verstappen is still in front of us. Now, what sort of tyres did everybody put on? Everybody's gone onto the wets. Sargeant has come out in 4th. Norris is on an Inter, so is Ricciardo. You suspect, although that's the right tyre now, that is not going to be the right tyre in a couple of laps' time, 2 minutes' time, when we are expecting a heavy, heavy downpour of rain. I can't understand how Verstappen is 3-4 seconds ahead of us. Yeah, maybe we should have gone that extra lap. Maybe that's the difference, because we've put on a wet tyre while he was on a slick, and maybe it was more slicks on a damp track than wets on a damp track conditions. So, but we're way ahead of Sainz, so who knows? Who knows? Sargeant, though, is in 5th right now, but again, that's absolutely fine. Norris is on the wrong tyre. He's going to have to stop again. Leclerc, if we can keep him behind us, that would be huge, but it would also be a huge achievement for Sargeant, to be fair. So, yeah, well, this is it. This could be a career-defining race for Sargeant. It could be a championship-deciding race for Magnussen. So, the track is now very, very wet, and Leclerc is a second and a half a lap faster than Sargeant. And I suspect any moment now we are going to see Charles Leclerc, there it is there, go past Logan Sargeant. That's fine, Logan, that's fine. You can back out of that one, mate. 5th is okay. Just hopefully don't go any further back than that. But if you look at lap times, we can see Sargeant is one of the slower cars on track. So he just needs to try and... just needs to do his best here, doesn't he? It's not his conditions. Oh, K-Mag is locked up. No, that's my fault. I was really pushing him on, trying to stay ahead of Sainz. And, well, hopefully he's not going to lose out to Leclerc as well now. He is still in 3rd. We will just back that off. Yeah, that's my fault. I should have just admitted defeat to the Ferrari. What sort of gap have we got over Leclerc now? Interval, so it's 13 seconds, so it is fine. But yeah, that's on me, that one. Oh, and now Sargeant. Now it's Logan Sargeant's turn to stuff it up. Oh, he was doing so well in 5th. Is he going to lose any positions? We're running around like headless chickens back in the garage. He had a nice gap over Hamilton. He was going along fairly nicely, just sort of keeping up with Leclerc, but he's 5 seconds back now, and that just puts Hamilton back in the range of an overtake. But yeah, there's not that many laps to go. It's wet. It's wet. You can have a silly spin in the wet. Now, I've just noticed, 1 second here. Are we about to go to Inters? We are. With 8 laps to go. Yeah, that's early enough, I think, isn't it? So, I don't think this lap. But if it's going to go to there's enough time, I think. There's enough time to come in, go onto the right tyre, and make this work. So we'll come in both cars this lap, and just hope that it's not the wrong thing to do. I think that there is enough time, as there goes the track into into damp conditions. I think there's enough time to make this worthwhile doing. As Verstappen is pit, so yeah, the Ferrari has stayed out. So it's going to be a mixed strategy. The fact that Red Bull's in, the Ferrari is out, makes me very confident I am doing the right thing here. Oh, you gotta love Ferrari strategy, don't you? Hamilton stays out. Let's see how this works out for us. How's this going to shake out? Now, it's cost Sargeant a lot. So if other cars don't come in, Logan Sargeant... I mean, we know that Sargeant needs to be on the right tyre anyway. But, yeah. This is a bit of a risk. Sargeant needs other cars to stop. If we look at Magnussen is right behind Hamilton anyway. He should get this move done fairly quickly. Let's have a look at last lap times. And we'll get an idea from that, I would imagine, if this is going to be something that is doable or not. Perez is stopping in a Red Bull. Ideally, we need to kind of get a move done here. We don't want to get stuck behind the Williams. Sargeant is back up into the points, so that's something. I mean, this is the lap, isn't it, where we'll get an idea of... It's no point looking for fastest laps because the fastest laps are all done in the dry. K-Mag, you just need to get this done, please. Can we stick it up the inside there? Come on, come on. There it is, there it is. Battery's empty, but it's job done. And what does Verstappen's lap time like? Ferraris have not pit. If Ferrari comes first and second here, it's not a disaster. A 28, we're stuck behind, so we're doing roughly the same times. Yeah, this may not work. Sargeant's on a 27. If for this to work, we're going to need... Well, the track's going to keep drying, though, so the track is going to keep coming more and more towards us and more away from everybody else. Let's push, K-Mag. Let's really... What's the gap to Verstappen here? 8 seconds. So realistically, there's no need, because we're not going to catch them, I don't think, if the track stays dry. We need the Ferraris to stop, and if they do stop, then we're close enough. We should be able to just leapfrog them anyway. Within 23 seconds. It was 29 seconds for a stop, wasn't it? Rain has stopped. Alright, well, here we go. Track is going to keep getting drier and drier and drier. Sargeant right behind now, 2 cars. Go deploy, mate. Go deploy. Get this overtake done. Come on. You've got the better tyres here. He's 3 seconds a lap faster. There should be 1. And if we can go and get Esteban Ocon now as well, that would be a very nice thing to do for me, please. Low fuel range for K-Mag. That is fine. And this should be job done down the back straight. So that's Sargeant to 8th. Well, we've got 4 laps to go. He should be quick enough. Where is he on the mini-map here? I don't know he's going to get back to Hamilton. That's the problem, isn't it? So he might actually end up losing a position overall here if everybody else doesn't stop. And they may not. It's right on the edge now, isn't it? You won't make the time back if you stop now-ish anyway. So, don't want to go into negative fuel range there. K-Mag is right behind Leclerc, and K-Mag goes 3rd. All right. Now, where is Sainz in comparison? Sainz is up here, isn't he? So Sainz is probably too far away. Probably too far away. So 3rd might be the best we can do with K-Mag. But let's see now what Sargeant can do, as he is catching 3 seconds a lap. Alonso and Russell in front. He's out in low fuel range. All right, let's just conserve and just make sure we are going to get these cars home.
We want to leave court, please.
Because we have a massive pace advantage as it is. The last thing we need is to be stopping on the side of the track because we run out of petrol. I mean, the track is almost going to dry. There might... Well, there's no point going... It's too easy, isn't it? Sargeant is driving past cars like they're not even there. That is how good this is going for us. Let's put these guys back to balance now. We've got the petrol back where we need it to be. Where is Magnussen in relation to Sainz? Verstappen has taken the lead. Magnussen is 6 seconds behind. Attack, K-Mag, attack. Here comes Sargeant. Lap cars. Where's this Hamilton in front? This is Hamilton in front. So he might be about to go back to his 5th spot. And that could be... Oh, it's too easy. Look at that. He can hardly keep it on the road there. Magnussen now. Let's see. He is catching Sainz. Only a second behind. This should be quite easy, actually. He's going to do it without a trouble in the world. And he's not going to catch Verstappen because he's on the same tyre. Can Sargeant catch Leclerc? Do we dare? Do we dare attack with Logan Sargeant? He's only 5 seconds behind. Last lap, he was 6 seconds faster. Come on, Logan. Can he get a P4? It would be good points for the team, obviously, but that's not really the concern here. This is just about Logan Sargeant showing that he can catch, pass, outrace a Ferrari. Track is now dry.
Track is dry condition.
So it's the wrong tyre for everybody, but dry track on wet tyres just doesn't work, does it? And he's going to do it easily. Down the outside, as easy as you like. Sargeant goes 4th. Can he get Sainz? I don't think he can. Surely not. It's 11 seconds up the road. But Logan Sargeant, that's a competitor wins. Verstappen has won the race, so that's disappointing. K-Mag, though, comes across to finish 2nd at the Italian Grand Prix. And Logan Sargeant, well, if he can make the last corner, is going to come across a very, very creditable 4th position. He's had his critics. Most of them have been me. But that is absolutely brilliant from Leclerc. 2nd and 4th at Monza.
Well, the Dane had a very impressive race, really delivering when the pressure was on.
So there we go, K-Mag up 4, Sargeant up 5. Great race for everybody. And the only really sour note is that Verstappen is going to have extended his lead. But it's still there for us. There's still enough races to go to make us think we can do it. Sargeant moves into the top 10 as well. He's not that far away from Alonso. And maybe he can yet finish the season in the top 8 and justify his place in the team. Kind of, but not really. We still managed to lose out points to Red Bull. That just goes to show, doesn't it? I mean, the difference that we needed to have 2 drivers to win a Constructors. Ferrari have lost out a little bit, but we have pulled out massively. Another 28 points on Mercedes. It's almost 100 points. I'm going to say, despite the fact Mercedes at times looks quite quick, that we've got a big enough lead there to just about say that is done. So that is it for today. If you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I think the next race might be Singapore. I don't actually know. But let's hope it's a good one for us either way. If you've enjoyed it, thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Take care.